Hello and welcome back to the final day of CADvent 2024. 24 days of festive design in Autodesk Fusion. For today, day 24, we are going to be designing Santa's sleigh. So Santa is coming to town. We're going to design this little sleigh in Fusion. My name is Elizabeth Bishop and you can find me on my social medias at 3dbish. I hope you've enjoyed these 24 days of design in Fusion and you've learned something from them. So let's jump into Fusion for our final design. As with many of our designs, we are going to start with a new component, and this is going to be the sides of the design. Now, for your design, we are going to use a canvas. So you can either search for an image of Santa's sleigh online, or if you want, you could take a quick screenshot of the one here that I have sketched up myself. And this is going to be the inspiration for my design. So quick screenshot if you want to use that one. Otherwise, search online and find your own design that you want to base this on. So I'm going to insert a canvas to do this design. I'm going to insert this from my computer. So I'm going to insert my design and I'm going to pop that on the front plane and click OK. Now I can see my design there and I'm just going to scale this to the size that I want it to be. So right clicking on my canvas and click calibrate. I'm going to roughly click from here to here and I want that to be 100 mil. So that's how big I want my design to be. So I'm now going to go back into sides. So make sure I've got that component activated and start creating the design for this sleigh here. So I'm going to use this as a guide, but not necessarily stick to it completely. So I'm going to add in a couple of horizontal lines there. And then I'm going to use the spline tool to bring this round into this nice arc here. And then go back again through here. And to be honest, the design you do, it doesn't really matter. Just do something that you are happy with. So you can manipulate these spline points, so drag them around until it's a design you're happy. All you need to do is make sure you don't make it too thin that it's not possible to 3D print. So I'm just going to add in a tangent constraint there. And that's going to be the first bit of the sleigh. I'm then going to click Finish Sketch on that and extrude that by 3 millimeters. So I want a distance, or a symmetric distance, overall is going to be 3. So that's going to extrude that like this. And that's the very first runner of my sleigh. I'm then going to add in this intricate detail. So I could actually do that in the original sketch I had. So editing that sketch. And it's just going to be these spline points for the design. So this really is a very creative process. Just go with what you're happy with, to be honest. And create some designs that you want to. So I'm going to use this as a guide because I'm not always that creative when thinking on the spot. And just making sure that some of my designs and go up to the top of the sleigh, kind of up here where I'm going to support the sleigh. If you want a sharp point, then you can just kind of click to finish. And so if I go around to this point and click finish, I can then start again from that point and come round and just bring this design round. Now, sometimes with splines, the fewer points you do, the slightly better a design you come up with. I've kind of ended up with a bit of a weird design going on here. So I'm going to just do that there. Now, I want that to be the top of the sleigh. I want to have some insertion points for the design here. So to do that, what I'm going to do is pop in a construction line. So line and then construction. And I'm going to pop that across the design here. And I know that I want that to be 13 millimeters. So I want that to be 13 there. So I just know that that's, or maybe it's to 13 to the bottom. Let's try that. No, that doesn't look right either. Maybe 14. Yeah, 14 mil looks good. Okay, so 14 mil to the bottom there. And I'm going to add in some insertion points that are going to snap into the base of the sleigh. So they're going to pop into the bottom of the design there. So just work up and you can bring these points up. You can join them to this edge if you want to, and just add in all of your spline points. So just keep working on your design. Make sure you've got your construction turned off. And really the design you do is entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter what you come up with. Just make it as pretty as you like. I'm going to make sure that some of my spine points do touch, just so I've got a little bit of support in the design. Bring those down to the base there, and then do one up here. Now I want this one to go up and arc round. Ooh, try that one again. So I want this one to come up and arc round the top. So I'm going to start here, come round, make sure I'm quite close to that one, and then I want to come up to this this tangent line that I'm creating and bring that round there. Bringing the opposite side round, creating a nice swirly design and up to that point there. And you can just manipulate the points to create the design that you want to with this. Now with this sort of modeling, you're always going to end up with kind of different design each time you do it. So this might not look exactly like the one I held up, but it's still going to be a very cool, intricate design. And just adding in these points. And making sure you join each time back to that line, and adding in any tangent points where you want them and any sharp points where you want those. And there we go. We have a rough design there. Oh, I've still got an open contour here, so I'll just finish that one off. Bringing this one round based on my sketch. Joining that one up there and in there, and then there we go. So that's my rough design that I want for this. Now I'm going to add those insertion points. So I'm going to create a rectangle, make sure it's from here, and that's going to be a 2x2 rectangle there. I'm going to do one over here. I'm just going to bring this line down a little bit. There we go. Bring that one in, bring that one down, and then add another rectangle, just the center of here, 2x2. Make sure that's overlapping the design, and then a third one over here, so 2x2 there as well. Again, I just want to make sure that is overlapping the design there, but also snapped to my construction line. So just bring that up. Ooh. So construction line should be fixed there, and then just make sure, oh dear, and then just make sure you are coincident to that line that we've created, but overlapping the swirly design so that there is a join point. You can just bring so just make sure you've got an overlapping design there. And I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm going to edit my extrude to include those profiles as well. So include all of those profiles that I have just created. Some of these ones you could include the center point like this one, as that design would end up being quite thin. So just grab all of those intricate designs, and I've got a slightly open profile in one of these. So I'm just going to edit the sketch and make sure that one, so I've lost that one there. So that needs to join to that line there. And then I can just double click to edit that sketch to include that swirl there. And there we go. That is the start of my sleigh design that I have here. And I'm going to now work on the body of the sleigh. So activating my top level component, I'm going to create a new component. And this is going to be the sleigh, sort of the bit that you sit in. I'm going to create a sketch on that same plane. And again, I'm going to use this design to come up with my model. So I'm going to create a line at the bottom. And this is going to be down here. And I want the dimension of that to be 50 millimeters. And we'll come back to positioning that in a moment. I then want 2 lines upwards, and I want the dimension between here and here to be 45 degrees to make sure that this is a printable model, and the same at the front. So dimensioning those there at 45 degrees. Now the rest of the design is going to be very free form. So I'm going to use splines, but I'm not going to add in as many points. So we want to use as few spline points as possible with this design. So just add in at the main points, and then you can use the grab handles to manipulate the design for what you want it to look like. I'm going to add in a tangent constraint here. To give that smooth structure up there. That one I'd like to be fixed, and then just drag these around. If you click on them, you can change the orientation as needed of your design. You can bring that circle in if you want to make the shape smaller. So you can see there's very few points on the design, but I've ended up with this shape here. Now I want to just make sure that I have all 3 of these sections inside my design and click Finish Sketch. I'm then going to create an extrude. I want my direction to be symmetric. I want a whole length, and I want 50 millimeters for this. You can see here that the sleigh is starting to come together now. I'm going to add a fillet, a 5 millimeter fillet to the back of the design there. Now I'm going to create a second sketch on the inside of this, and I'm going to project through the outside body of the design. I'm then going to hide the body so I can work on the sketch here. Now I'm going to create an offset from this of 2 millimeters, and then a second offset from the same line. So modify an offset from the same line of 4 millimeters. I'm then going to kind of create an arc down and a rectangle, which is going to be the seat of the sleigh. So just drawing in a rectangle. I want that rectangle to be 15.5 by 9.5 there. And I want that to sit sort of in the sleigh design there. I'm then going to add an arc, and this is going to be sort of the back of the seat, and that's going to come from down here. It's going to go through that point and out here. So I'm just going to add it in like that. So 2 separate points here. And this is sort of the back of the seat of the sleigh design here. So I'm just creating the profile that we want to cut out. So I also just want to create an arc up here. So create an arc, and that's going to be sort of this profile here. So just position that in the location you want to print. Cut. So once you've got that sketch design, you can see the enclosed profiles which we can cut to create the sleigh. So hiding the body, extrude, and then I'm going to select the profiles that I want to cut out for the design, ignoring that box because that's going to be the seat on the sleigh. So symmetric measurement is going to be 45 millimeters, and the operation is going to be cut. I'm going to view the body to check that's giving me what I was expecting, and then click OK to cut out that design. You can see now we've got a sleigh that we can sit in. I'm going to add in a couple of fillets just to round off the edges of that seat. So those 3 edges and a 1 millimeter fillet. I don't really need the canvas anymore. I'm can start to see the design of the sleigh coming together here. So we've currently got one, it's almost like ice skating at the moment. So we've currently got one in the middle. Okay, so we've got that kind of ice skate look here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is position this into correct position, then use a mirror for this. So I'm going to create a joint. I'm just going to hide the body of this one here. And grab the top corner of this one here. Viewing the body again, I'm going to select the front of this. Now I don't want it to flip, I want it to be in that correct orientation. I'm going to drag this back 22 millimeters. It's going to go up 2 because then we're inside the sleigh correctly. And then we're going to go back minus 2.5 into the sleigh there. And that's where the position of one of the runners needs to go. Now, if yours doesn't let you move it, you may need to unground the side. So it might say ground to parent. You might need to unground from the parent. I'm then going to create a mirror. So create a mirror. Now I want to mirror the component. So the component I want to mirror is sides. The mirror plane I want to use is this one. And then we'll see that puts the other runner on the other side of the sleigh there. We can see that really cool, intricate design of the runners. Now, what I want to do is to create so that when you print this, you can insert the, slot the runners into the bottom of the sleigh. So I'm going to activate the sleigh component and create a sketch on this bottom face. Now I'm going to project. So I'm going to create and then project. And the points I want to project through are going to be the top of the runners. So I'm actually going to hide the body here. And then I'm going to select filters and select these 4 edges on each of the insertion pins. So do that on both of the components. Okay, and then click OK. So now that we have those, I'm going to create an offset. So modify and offset. And then I'm going to offset each of them by a distance of 0.5. Now I want to make sure that goes outwards 0.5. So minus 0.5 outwards. Okay, so just create an offset for each of those things. So minus 0.5 offset minus 0.5 offset minus 0.5. Oh, that one's 0.5 offset and then 0.5. And this is just going to be the tolerance for the pin insertion. If you've got a really accurate printer, you could reduce that offset for your design. So finishing my sketch there, I'm going to view the body again and actually hide the 2 sides so I can work on this design here. So I'm going to create an extrude and I'm going to extrude all of these profiles that I have designed in that sketch. So making sure I've got all 12 of those profiles selected, and I want to go up into the part. So I want to go minus 3 millimeters there. Now you could add a very small taper on that, such that when you push the parts in, they sort of push fit into location. To make them a little bit easier to locate, I'm also going to add a chamfer to each of those 4 edges. So selecting those 4 edges on each of these hole inserts. So we should end up with 24 edges selected. And I'm going to add a chamfer of 0.5 millimeters just to give them a little bit of ease into the design. And then what we can do is on the sides, if we activate that component, hide the sleigh, you can also add a fillet to the edges here, just to give that a little bit of rounding into the hole. So you could do 0.2. we can do that to each of those designs there. So we just need to select all of them on both of the designs, because it's not possible to mirror this feature before doing the whole selection. So 0.2 on both of those. And there we go. We have the runners and the sleigh. So we can add some appearances in to this to make it look a little bit prettier. So I'm going to add a copper appearance, and I'm going to do a polished copper for the runners on here. And then I'm going to add in a wood and pick like a nice dark wood. So maybe a mahogany or a cherry. So dragging the cherry on, and you can see that wooden design in the sleigh there. And there we have it. 24 days of festive design in Autodesk Fusion, finishing up on Christmas Eve with Santa's sleigh. I do hope you've enjoyed CADvent 2024. If you've got any questions, please do post them in the comments section below. And all that's left for me to do is wish you a very festive period, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas day. And all the best for 2025. Thank you very much for watching.